All righty. Yo. What's going on? It's your boy Big Moose Thomas here on the Big Moose Thomas podcast. Let's get it. Man, it is a great day out here. Thank you so much. And today we got a special guest in the building. We got OG Thomas. What's going on, Pops?
Hey, what's up, man? How's it going?
Doing well.
Congratulations. It's a dominant game for you guys today.
Yes, it was. We're gonna talk about that. So first things first, Washington football team played the Giants today, and the outcome was 22-7 in favor of Washington football. There we go. Way to end the
And
season.
it wasn't that close.
It wasn't. We're gonna talk about that though. So first and foremost, as a Giants fan, tell me what you saw.
I saw a very inept quarterback who had literally thrown at the feet of receivers on several occasions, overthrew um, open receivers, an offensive line that got dominated quite early and quite often. So I'm saying this from a New York Giants point of view. I believe that that Fromm, he's 6'1" and he throws like he's 5'8".
Oh, you mean Jake, not from State Farm? Sorry.
That's correct. Yes, Jake, not from State Farm. Or Jake needs to be from State Farm because he ain't an NFL quarterback.
God.
I also saw, once again, remember last week when I said that we would make your guys look good, and we did. I think Gibson broke a G, right?
Yeah. So like we had two players break a G on the day.
Gibson and Patterson.
No. A Gibson broke a G, so shouts out to him. Also, McLaurin broke a G on the day too. So both of them got 1,000 yards. McLaurin got it in passing or catching, if you will, receiving yards, and Gibson got it on the ground. Now, all-purpose yards, Gibson already had 1,000 due to him being an all-purpose back, being able to catch it and run it. But in terms of rushing yards, he had 1,000. He broke a G in the game. What's crazy that he needed 109. And if I'm be honest, someone should have taken that number because that number was really crazy. So someone should have taken that back. People would not say he could get 109. I believe he actually broke his record today. He had 147 on the ground.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Also, McLaurin today had he broke 1,000. He's the first receiver to do it since I want to say a 96, 97 season.
Okay.
Back to back.
Excuse me for 1 second.
No problem.
Sorry, I couldn't get to the what you call it.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. It's all that BS in the air over in the Giants. No. So tell me, again, for y'all who don't know, OG Thomas is a Giants fan, born and raised in Brooklyn. Again, all his life in Brooklyn Tech, everything Brooklyn at that point. So, a question about Joe Judge in the end of the game and how he was trying to manage the game. Before we get into the weeds of things, he was trying to call timeouts at in the last 4 minutes of the game, trying to get the ball back. What did you think about that?
I thought it was just as inept a call as he made before the half. I think it was before the half, the next to last drive in the second quarter that they had, or it might have been, yes, I think it was their last drive when he was pinned back in like the 5-yard line or something like that.
Oh,
and
yeah,
he did
that
three
was
rushes straight up the middle.
Yeah. Okay. So now that we went to the end, let's bring it back to the beginning. So in the beginning, the game wasn't pretty at all. A Washington football fan is, I'm gonna say for us as well, it wasn't a good game for us. Okay, to put up 22, we put up 22 points on a decent defense. Believe it or not, I will give it that. The Giants have a decent defense. Zero offense. It's
and the defense got run out because they were just on
you
the
get
field
gas.
all
You
day.
get gas. Absolutely.
Yeah, Patterson. Did you see Patterson stiff armed? Who was it? Leonard. Was that Leonard Williams? Yes. Did you see that stiff arm?
Yeah,
It was early in the third quarter.
yeah,
And
he's
I
just
just said,
tired. He's just tired. I mean,
yeah.
like I said, so at the start of the game, Gibson is running up and down on him,
Hmm.
but then we couldn't get a touchdown. Joey Sly, who was the kicker that we actually brought in after, so this is going to be slightly a season recap as well. So the Washington football team started the season with Dustin Hopkins. That was our kicker for the past 6 years, basically. He missed a couple of key extra points and field goals. Again, a total of around 5 within a 6 to 7 game span. Once that happened, they were like, yo, you got to go. Like, it was building up. He was missing here and there, and this was building up, and they said, hey, you got to go. So the hard part about letting the kicker go, which Rivera did say, is that there's not 32 good kickers out there. All 32 kickers are on 32 teams. There's not like the 33rd kicker is there's a gap between the 33rd kicker and the 32nd kicker. There's a huge gap between that. Meaning that the kickers that are in the league, which you only have 32, that's it. That's the good pile to choose from.
I don't think so.
Able to. Here's the thing. He said you may be able to get lucky, but that 32 was the 32 for a reason. Now we see what happened. Oh, go ahead, sir.
No, I was just gonna say I think that we have about 20 good kickers in the league.
Okay, I feel you on that because what happened
I really
was
do believe that. Yeah.
When Hopkins got released, the next week he was on the Chargers. Okay, he was on the Chargers, kicking for the Chargers, going for the Chargers. Actually was 3 for 3 on the day with the Chargers. So it shows you that no matter where you kick it, as long as you get some production, people are gonna scoop you up. So then we went with the local product, UPS warehouse driver of Chris Blewett. And the name says it all.
Yep.
The name says it all. So we know what happened. So then, after Blewett, who lasted around 2 weeks, Rivera was sticking by side saying, hey, Blewett's our guy. Don't you worry about it. He's going to get, he's our guy. 2 weeks, he was like, hey, Burp, holla at you. We got Joey Sly, who was kicking for the Carolina Panthers around 2.5, 3 years ago. And then he was doing good for us. He got hurt in the Seahawks game.
Yep.
Trying to run down a block kick and pulled up on the hammy, and then he was out for a little bit. But he came back and he was kicking good for us. So he kicked for the game, and I was good. He kicked in some nasty weather out there too.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I was also going to say is that there's about 20 good kickers in the league, but you're going to need 40 because you do have to account for injury during the year. The kickers are notorious for tweaking hammies simply because of the way that they torque their body.
Yeah, I just felt we just got. I mean, again, with that black cloud over Ashburn, somehow we get our kicker hurt, which is just ridiculous.
Well, better than the Giants, we get our power skill positions hurt all the time.
Yeah, I mean us too. So we have 40 different players be on some type of designation this year, which is crazy. Meaning some type of
the Giants beat you though.
Jeez. Yeah. Y'all look completely depleted, especially with having to play Jake Fromm, with Daniel Jones looking on the sideline. Like there was one play I was actually watching where Cam Curl, I saw like he came off on a safety blitz, saw Fromm was about to throw it. Fromm threw it, and Cam just jumped up and batted it. I was like, he should have caught it, but of course that's why safeties are safeties and not wide receivers.
How many batted passes did you guys have today? Like 5?
I lost count after the 4th one. I lost count.
Yeah,
like
you guys had 5.
Like after a total of 4 downs, I'm like, okay, like yeah, like the batted passes. Here's the thing, I lost count because it was either a batted pass or a pass in the dirt due to a rush. Like that's what it was.
Or just bad passes.
Yeah.
I don't think many of them. He had several passes that just hit the ground. I mean, these guys were wide open. They knew exactly where to go. And one of the things I do have to give the Giants team some credit for is that you can tell that they were very disappointed, to put it mildly, in Fromm's capabilities. But they didn't show it. Like they weren't fighting with each other and things like that. but one of the things that really surprised me
Oh,
though
that sounds like a dig. Okay.
is that Fromm. Well, no, I'm talking on the Giants because the Giants have done that.
Oh no, I'm saying because earlier, actually like 2 weeks
Yes,
ago in the
yeah,
Cowboys
that
game.
too. Yeah,
No,
yeah,
it's all good. It's
yeah.
again. We both
And
the Turks and Caicos, metaphorically right now. We both
yeah, yeah.
we
And,
both out the play.
and so when I saw just that massive ineptitude, and then he threw like a couple of, I mean, just absolute bullets. And I said, okay, so this shows that he has a very powerful arm, but he has absolutely no control over it. And he's been in the league long enough that he should have developed a touch if he was capable of developing a touch. And it's not as if he didn't have time with the first squad or with the first team. And it's not as if he didn't play against this level of talent. He played against this in college. He was either was a 3 or 4 year starter. As a matter of fact, he outplayed Joe Burrow when he was in college. so, so it's just interesting to see just how bad he was. I think at the end of the first half, I think it was something like good Lord, what was it, 4 for 17 or something like that?
Yeah, it was
yeah, it was like 4 for 17, and I think he had something like 47 yards or something like that. I mean, it was just incredible just how bad he was. And I'm not saying that the Washington's defense wasn't in his face. They were, but they weren't in his face that much. I saw it. He had plenty of open chances. He had Joey Galladay on a couple of fly routes that he just missed him on. And one of the reasons was that your safety actually jammed him pretty good. And as you know, I'm a big critic of the free release.
Uh-huh.
And when I saw that long pass that didn't make it Joey Galladay, if he didn't get jammed, that would have landed right in his, that would have gone right into his lap. And I'm like, that's why I don't like free releases. And the other thing that kind of bothered is that Galladay was supposed to be this big receiver, big, strong receiver who you couldn't jam. And he got jammed up pretty easily. And then Jake from, not Jake from State Farm, he pulled the Heineke, what Heineke did a couple of weeks ago when he just pulled his arm back and just let the ball go.
yeah.
And he just said, no, I don't want
it. Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah,
I know.
But if I was a Washington fan, I would say that it was just a dominating thing. You had Saquon Barkley's quarterback almost double him in yards.
Yeah, which is crazy. What you call it? Like, Saquon was actually working for most of the day. That was like the only. I ain't gonna lie. If y'all really wanted to keep going, y'all could have kept Saquon in. He was actually getting some good work against us. He was running downhill against us, and then how do I put this? It's not his fault. I just think that y'all OC was like, I can't get him hurt in this game, which I understand. But there were times where like I was like, hey, y'all not playing to win. Y'all just trying to get this game over. And like it didn't feel good to me as well as other
to be honest with you, if I were the Giants, I would probably get rid of Joe Judge. And the reason being is that, in my opinion, the team didn't give up on him. He gave up on the team. In the second quarter.
That sounds like what Belichick does.
Yeah, when he just ran straight up the middle. You're not giving any fan service.
Yeah.
Because you heard the game. The fans just wanted to see people try. Like they booed at certain points, but then they stopped booing because they saw them still exert effort. And then when you say where I'm going to order my men to not exert effort, to not try to win, to not try to keep this game from getting out of hand, that's just ridiculous. And then when not Jake from State Farm threw that pick six, I was like, oh, here we go, because I saw it coming. He doesn't look passes off. I'm sorry, doesn't look defenders off. And he throws, you can't be 6'1" and throw at your shoulder.
No, but I also will say this. you have starters for a reason.
Yep.
People
And they're
start in the
backups
NFL for a reason. People
Yes.
are backups for a reason, and people are backups to those backups for a reason. Now, I
Yes.
understand the next man up mentality. I do wholeheartedly agree in it. I
Mhm.
agree in it until you get to that third man. Because that third
Yes.
man was supposed to play. Like I
Yeah,
said,
and
the
you
backup
can't.
should be looking. That should be a
Yeah,
mirror.
and you can't blame. And you can't blame Omicron because everybody has that same impediment. As a matter of fact, I was looking, toward the end of the game, I'm looking at both sides of the ball, and I'm wondering, these football players or these warehouse guys from Costco.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. You're right.
No. Once again, I'm sorry, but just want to make sure that the audience knows, both of them, that they know that. And I'm not saying this to slight those gentlemen on there. It's just goes to show you that everybody is equally yoked when it comes to the disruption that COVID has wreaked upon the league. So that is not an excuse.
Absolutely. Like, to actually piggyback on that, injury is part of the game. So
Yep.
by the time you get to week 17, you might have some players who you don't know. When you add that with Omicron, with COVID, like you said, you're getting Costco warehouse work. You're getting Costco, UPS, and FedEx people
Exactly.
who are 6'5", 6'7". Yo, bro, I know you played in school. Go ahead and call them back.
And what I'm saying is that all the teams have that.
Absolutely.
So one team can't say anything more about it than any other team. And once again, it bothered me because remember, I think on the previous cast that we had, one of the things that I said is that it seems as if the Giants and I think the Washington football team, act on the same way where they don't necessarily want that close of a quarterback to the main quarterback. And I'm like, you can't do that. It's not as if, like, for example, I'll just stick with the Giants. It's not as if Eli's still in there. They were able to have these ham and eggers behind them because that's really all that you needed. But you don't have that anymore.
Yeah,
I forgot that.
I understand. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, what was that coach? What was that coach who said, Larry Bird is coming through that door?
Yeah.
Kevin McHale is not coming through that door.
Yeah.
And if they do, they're hella old.
Yeah, I think the Giants haven't realized that yet. Now I understand like Judge wasn't there for that and all that. I mean, Judge, no, yeah, like Judge wasn't there for Eli, was he? He came in after Eli.
No, but he was there for Tom, so he knows all about it.
Okay,
and yeah, and I think that this is another. I think he's just the next Matt Patricia. I just don't see it. I think that there is enough that we've seen for it. And here's what I mean by it. At the beginning of the year, he had a very competitive football team. They were masters at losing by a field goal as time ran out. But they were in the game until the end of the game. That's coaching. That's not players.
That first game in week 4, it really went down to a offside penalty that I understand what it was called, but I do not agree in. And that's me speaking as a Washington football fan. Yeah. I understand what it was called. I don't agree in. I understand it went down to that on a field goal that was missed first, that was then redone off of the, I believe it was offsides or encroachment. Sure, it might have been neutral zone.
No, it was offsides.
Yeah,
it was offside, so that's why they kicked it again. But it wasn't offside. But that's neither here nor there. If it comes down to that, we have an issue. But once again, what I was saying is that you have that, and then as the year goes on, it gets worse and worse and worse. Now, of course, they got hit by the injury bug.
Yeah. Which we all do.
But everybody does it. At a certain point, you have to examine, why are you always so injured? Once again, I think that becomes a coaching issue.
Yes or no?
Everybody plays on the same field.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry. No, not everybody plays on the same field. I think that the Giants would make the difference.
Washington would make the difference. I know you know our turf reasons. Shout out to RG3.
Yes.
Yes or no? I know we do, like, injuries are part of the NFL, no doubt about that. Some teams I do question in their conditioning staff, or I do question what they do in practice.
And that's what I was
Also,
alluding to. It's the strength and conditioning coach. Why so many people popping hammies?
also, I do also want to shout out to first time I'm doing this. The NFL is actually getting wise to a lot of the blocking schemes that are actually injuring players.
Mhm.
Like for instance, chop blocks are now banned, crackbacks are now banned. All these were flashy moves that fans liked. Because they gave it a WWE, wrestling style to the game. But all in all, I do think that as a fan, um, as a podcaster, as a person who watches everything, political commentator, whatever you want to call, um, the NFL does better when the stars are on the field,
Yes,
all
it does.
stars.
Yeah, because there's
So
only but so many stars too.
exactly. And not every team has a star.
That's correct.
Versus like we don't have a star. The Giants don't have a star. Saquon's light is dimmed out in the league. Don't get me wrong, he's a star in New York, but people in Minnesota not checking for Saquon. People in Minnesota are checking for Tom Brady. People in Minnesota are checking for Justin Jefferson. People in Minnesota are checking for Cooper Kupp to see if he's gonna break the record. People,
Mhm.
you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like people in Iowa are seeing what CeeDee Lamb gonna do. They're gonna see this Trayvon Diggs gonna get another pick.
Yep.
Stuff like that. Trayvon Diggs going another pick, and Stephon Diggs gonna get another touchdown. Again, like these are stars in the league that people want to see. Some of these stars are gonna last longer than others, but when these stars get hurt, when they get injured, it takes away from the game, which takes away from the money, which takes away from the bottom line.
Yes.
So I do think that the NFL will start looking at the strength and conditioning as well because they want to see these people on the field as long as possible.
What do you think the likelihood is that Daniel Jones is a WF Washington football team player next year?
If Daniel Jones comes to the Washington football team or whatever we're called on, shouts out to 2222. If Daniel Jones comes to DC and he's not in a Giants uniform, I'll put it like that. If Daniel Jones comes to DC and he's not in a Giants uniform, call your mom, call your loved ones. We are on the end of days. Okay. All right.
Line up the animals 2 by 2.
There you go. We at the end of days. A lot of the animals 2 by 2, fried the ship, and just guard your hip. Yeah, we in the end of days. The Daniel Jones coming to town. I do not want to see another bridge quarterback come through. In today's gameplay, we saw Heineke, and some of his shortcomings. Again, when I say shortcomings, please don't take away from the fact that Heineke has been very serviceable for us. I love Heineke. I love everything he's done for us. I love who he is. Now let's talk about who he is. He is a great number 2. Heineke is the number 1 number 2. He's a 36 number 1. All right, he's the number 1 number 2 quarterback in the league. No doubt about that in my book. I don't think there's a better backup in the league than Heineke. I'll tell you that right now. But if you want to put him as a starter, again, he's the 36th starter in the league.
Yeah, well, one of the things that
if Drew Brees came, I'm sorry. If Drew Brees came back right now, taking him over Heineke every day of the week. Talk about every day.
Yes. God, okay. Yes. Well, one of the things that I've seen about Heineke is that he doesn't like to let plays die. And in the NFL, sometimes you have to let plays die.
Absolutely. He has that fighting instinct. He just keeps fighting, and I love it. And you have to respect it because you don't get a lot of men like that in the NFL. Especially
he's acting like he's going. He's acting like he's fighting to stay on the field.
Yeah,
in other words, to get to the next play. And that's not how starters play.
Correct.
You have to be a bit more strategic.
Correct.
And he's had all season to be coached to differently or to learn differently, because I'm not sure if he was coached that or not.
I have other issues with Scott Turner, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that's what it would come. And today there was this one play, was once again in the second quarter, where he ended up getting coverage sacked. And he had 2 opportunities to throw the ball away. And he clearly didn't do it. And he just ended up getting caught. And it ended up pushing him back. I think it might have been 2nd and 5, and it brought him back to like 3rd and 13 or something like that. Was that in the second quarter or the third quarter? I think it was in the second quarter.
That was second quarter play. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. And so when I saw that, I was like, and whoever the two guys from Costco who were calling the game.
No, they had Daryl Johnson and company and on there.
Yeah.
I'll give him that.
I'm joking. So they were like, one of the things that he has to do is that, and I was saying that too. And I said, yes, that's a play that you have to give up, because you go from being second and a good down to half. Second and really good to third and very manageable. And now all of a sudden you turn that into 3rd and long.
Yeah.
And so a guy who's looking to stay on the field is showing his hustle and never say die attitude, but a starting quarterback is thinking strategically.
Very true. Very true.
And I haven't seen that all season with what he's doing. And it's just really kind of frustrating, because I think that he has a much better offensive line than what other things may show. And the reason being is that he doesn't run enough. I think he should have run more.
Absolutely. We're going to talk about that.
Okay. That's one. And I think that that's big. And the reason being is that if you have wheels, use them and make the other team pay. Because now all of a sudden they got to put a shadow on you or whatever. So now that guy is a couple of yards closer to the line, and now you have dump passes behind him. Your running back can chip block and go out to the back and get lost behind the line, and people can't find him. But also, I don't know if that's him or if that's the coaching staff not realizing that.
Understand.
That's another thing. So I don't put it this way. I'm just as pessimistic looking at the Washington football team as I am the Giants. Actually, I'm a little more optimistic with the Washington football team because I don't think that your front office is in anywhere near as much disarray as the Giants.
Oh, my beer. What you call it? When it comes to Heinicke running around, let's talk about that. I've seen it all this season. I do believe Heinicke, Scott Turner, Rivera, and Snyder, whichever one, Tanya or Dan. I do believe they all had a meeting about running. Now, the Snyders might have not been there, but they were privy to what's going on. The way that Heinicke had such restraint for running, someone told him that his job was in jeopardy. Like, that's the only way I can explain it. The way that he was so hesitant to run was almost like you will be off the field if any injury happens to you. Now, when I mean off the field, I don't mean just for injury. Like, you'll never get the starting job back. You would you'll never start again in this career. Like, you'll never start again in the NFL. It really felt like that because the way that he would restrain from holding back, especially on a couple of plays, it was like a 2nd and 7 when I was like, "Oh, go for it," and he held it down.
Yeah, it was there.
And
it was 20 yards. There was 20 yards there.
Exactly. Now he did take off like once or twice, and I was like, "All right, cool." But then, and when he did, I was glad to see him get down quick. I was glad to see that. I just want to see that more, especially against a tired defense. Not an abysmally bad defense, but a tired defense. You could have gotten more out of it.
What was that expression? Exhaustion makes cowards of us all?
Absolutely. I wanted to see the score ran up, in my opinion. I did not want to see a mercy. I did not want to see his hold back. Joe Judge was talking all that smack, talking about a clown franchise. Oh, run it up.
Yeah.
These grown men.
Yeah. I think he caught his feelings. And in my opinion, when you do that, you should pay for it. You know, there's a price to be paid for insolence. And I don't want him doing that. And I don't mind people getting their comeuppance. Yeah. I really, really don't mind. And it's not like Ron Rivera, whatever criticisms people may have of him, nobody has criticisms of him as a man.
No.
You know what I'm
No.
saying? He's a man's man in this league.
Uh-huh.
And if you go after a statesman like that, yeah, you pay for it. If it's a rookie mistake and you get punished, why? Because that teaches you to grow up.
Absolutely. Like I said,
but I wouldn't be surprised if he goes, because I really don't think that they were happy.
I don't think the mayor's gonna do that to him. I think with everything going wrong in the situation, you got to keep one constant.
What, losing?
No. Here's the thing. I'm not saying that's right. I'm just saying that that's the political optics of the game.
Oh, as a matter of fact, I'm sorry. Here's my silver lining for this cloud.
Go ahead.
This is the first time both you and I got to see our teams play in January.
Yeah. Deep into January. This is the first time we got to see our teams play the second week of January in a while.
Yes.
Now we did play wild card last year. We saw how that went, but other than that, yeah, this is the first time in a while we got to see our teams play second weekend in January. It's not that often that happens. Shouts out to the weeks 18 now.
Yeah, it's abysmal. Yeah.
It was. Before we go though, I do want to know, what are some of your predictions for this offseason? Starting with your quarterback, what's going to happen to your quarterback?
I've become a Washington. I've adopted the thought process of a Washington fan.
Ooh, explain.
I have no faith in my institution.
And your institution or your quarterback? Which one?
No, the institution. In other words, I don't count on the senior leadership to make the right decision.
Okay.
I believe that they are just going to pick up his contract and not do anything else. I haven't treated like it's a contract year.
Okay.
I think that they're going to hire the wrong person as a GM. I forgot who's the black guy that's in the running. He's kind of a dark horse for it. He's an analyst. I can't remember his name right now. But anyway, I think that they stand a decent chance of hiring him.
Okay.
I have a feeling that they're going to keep Joe Judge. Joe Judge is going to lose the team early on next season, and he's going to be fired before week 4.
Wow. Week 4?
Yes, that's my hot take. I think he's just going to. I really do think that they're going to come back. It's going to try all that, extra push-up stuff again, and guys are really going to get sick of it.
Okay.
I have a feeling that I don't know what they're going to do with Saquon. I have a funny feeling that they're going to do their best to try to pay for Saquon. I don't. And don't get me wrong.
Well, they got to pick up the option on him. That's all. They got to pick up the option.
Yeah, I know. But I love Saquon, but I think we're now into the sunken loss fallacy portion of the Saquon project. I'd rather have him go somewhere else because, like I said, our cap is not looking good at all.
Absolutely, I understand.
It's not looking good at all. I have a funny feeling they're going to, whoever drafts is going to draft another fancy skill player. And even though we have tons of lineman talent all throughout the draft. So I have a funny feeling that we're not going to trade down to get more second round picks, because I would trade the first round. I would trade one of our first round picks to go back into the second round, because we don't have it. We don't have a second round pick right now. So we could swap, get second, get a first
and second out of it. Gotcha.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
But I don't think we're going to do that. I'm very bearish on what happens with the New York Giants organization.
Gotcha.
I don't think that they've learned anything from their previous mishaps. I don't think that the ownership has learned anything. They're still trying to be, as what they call it, we're a classy organization. Classy organizations win.
Yeah, that's it.
Nobody doubts Bob Kraft's classiness.
Not at all. Even though he got caught down in that parlor doing whatever he was doing. Not at all. Got you. Yeah. Got you. Oh, like Wedding Cures All. Where the kids are?
That's
All right?
correct.
Where the
That's correct.
kids are? All
That's
right.
but that's what I think that's what I think is going to happen. What do you see with your organization?
With the Washington football team, I got 3 hot takes. One,
Hmm.
Deron Payne will not be a Washington football player next year,
Okay.
or whatever we call it, 2222. Shouts out.
Hmm.
A Deron Payne may be gone. I will be gone. Excuse me. Speak that. Two, the Washington football team actually drafts a quarterback, and it won't be who we think it is. I think if everything I'm saying is right, we will finally get that 2 to 3 year starter in college. Not just the hottest name, but
Hmm.
that 2 to 3 year starter in college.
You think Daniel Snyder's finally learned his lesson?
Hopefully. And
Okay.
again, 3 years. Like 3 years is that going up?
Hmm.
And last but not least, I looked at our schedule for next year. It's 10, 11 wins in there for us. I'm going for a 10, 11 win season minimum.
Hmm.
That's my hot take. When I was looking at the schedule, we're looking at 10, 11 wins for next year.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to say that too. 6-11
6 and 11? Got you.
for the
Got you.
Giants. For the Giants,
Oh.
I think it's going to be 6-11, and they're going to consider that a moral victory.
Oh, good. When I was looking at the schedule, I'm looking at an 11-6. If I want to get really bullish, I'm looking at a 13-4.
Mhm.
On the low end, we looking at a 9-8.
Mhm.
I'm looking at a winning record next year. Like I think our organization is gonna have a winning record next year.
And also in our division, hot take for the division. Oh, good Lord. Oh my God, I'm having another brain cramp.
So
Dallas is running back. Zeke.
yeah, Zeke. Yeah.
Zeke is going to get deactivated by Dallas at some point during the season next year.
Ooh, I'm gonna hot take them for Philly is Jalen Hurts is the next Kirk Cousins of the NFC East. I don't think he's gonna last there. I think they're gonna run him out of town. I think he's going to be a serviceable quarterback, but they won't want to build around him, and he'll get ran out like Carson Wentz. He'll get ran out like Kirk Cousins, and it'll be a sad story to see.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey.
Yeah, but I think that this game was a game that was remarkable by it being so feckless. It affected nothing in the league. There was nobody's job on the line. I mean, there was just nothing. There was just nothing there. And I think that that's a horrible way to leave your fans. This was a disgusting botched abortion of a division game.
This game was not going to tie because these people did not want to play more. okay. Let's say that these people like, yo, like you got to win the regulation.
Did you see the crowd at MetLife?
No, I saw the group of people at MetLife though.
No, the Giants the Giants are becoming a Washington football team.
I saw the group that was there. I saw the I saw the shindig.
People
that was there.
The assemblage of individuals.
Excuse me. I saw the Giants posse, if you will.
Yes.
I wouldn't call it a crowd.
But yes, but that really reminded me of earlier this season when I looked at that stadium. When I just looked at that stadium, I just really got it. And if the NFL keeps up with this, it's not going to go well because what happens in the East goes West.
But hey, we gotta get out of here. Again, this is boy Big Moose Thomas, the Big Moose Thomas podcast. Got your boy OG Thomas right here. Thank you very much for coming by. Gonna holler at you in the next one. Y'all enjoy.
All right, everybody. Thanks.